and to have to go to bed and then think about it, and maybe you overthink a situation, and maybe you overextend, or you kind of overthink everything and ruin the momentum that you had going. So it'd be interesting to see what kind of trios can regain their momentum or find a new breath of life going in.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they already played the semifinal today, so I think with the games from that, plus the 6 games here, that's already a ton of Fortnite being played going through, upwards of 16 games, but brilliant shots coming out from Aqua, just downing Mr. Savage right away. We talk about just that team fire and the pressure that they're able to convert on. Siphon coming over right away as Reason is able to pick that one up. A brilliant wall replace into the arch edit. Will flip it back for the peanut butter edit, and Benji goes down like this was a box fight. No problem there as Aqua gets the final tag as well, and he says 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. Not sure what the cricket equivalent is of something about bowling. I'm sure Resub will probably correct me, but that Stark Industry initial fight, we talked about Mongrel going at it, and they're all just dropping on his head. They said, nope, we're not going to lose the 50-50 because we're going to bring everyone to the same chest. But unfortunately, that is going to cost them the 50-50 for what is the 3rd time in a row. I believe that's the 3rd time in a row. They've now gone down over at Stark. So really, really rough for that trio.
And I just can't believe that Moraine, Jaspe, and Lunef made that change really late in the game, and they were in the top 10. They weren't in shambles. They weren't struggling throughout the day. I think they just decided they saw maybe a weakness in the game of Mongrel, Mitro, and Taste, and decided, let's go ahead and test that out. This is the opening week 1. Going down early. And the thing is, as well, is I feel like in the EU region, there hasn't been any changes in trios, volatile changes as much as NA East. And now, with that opportunity, that could be an option. I mean, that trio has been together for a long time, ever since FNCS Trios was announced here for the season. So now we're seeing the #1 spot now being kind of just shaken down as Snap Miro Dog and Miro and Snapper take out the first place. One of them, wow, unbelievable, as already first place is taken down. Of course, this is only first place in the halftime portion here. As we're taking a look into this matchup, Kenzix, 4ZR, and Nate were at 95 points in first. Right behind was Vettel, iDrop, and Star6 with 93 points. And of course, Amplify, ADN, and Matzo, who have 1 victory out with 75 points. So there is a big time gap between first and second, but it's going to be closed a little bit more, knowing that our first place team is now out of this fight. And it's interesting, Sundown, is that we've seen a lot of people getting caught in that Weeping Woods area. You know, we saw Benji Fishy get caught out there, and now we're seeing Kenzix and his squad getting caught out there as well. Looking very grim as the Reaper is knocking on Kezik's door at the moment. Only a flopper here maybe gets this Siphon right here with this elimination. No, he doesn't. And that's just not going to be good, as he does get the Siphon from that elim, but now he's only sitting 54 above, and now he has to fight in this, and this is going to be, wow! Milo gets taken out so quickly with a nice flick of the wrist. The pump shotgun goes through, and Kenzis is not done yet. He's like, hey, I heard my boy Reese is voting for me, is rooting me on, and I'm going to go ahead and carry the torch like Mr. Savage did. I mean, that's the beauty of the trios game. One player could hold on and get that placement points. One player could clutch up. One player could do it all and win a victory royale. So it's not yet over. He's going to have the opportunity to go over the top, but oh my goodness, out's going some more shots in, and we're going to get some more storm fights, and he's going to be like, wait a minute, how dare you? But how dare you? Bang! Get eliminated yourself and get rewarded with a legendary pump shotgun. Kha'Zix, my man, what are you doing?
So well done from him there. And the key, the start of that fight, the first knock that he ended up getting, he didn't get Siphon going over, so he had the flopper in his back pocket, never had to use it, and then he was pushing aggressively. He wanted those players. He has some excess shields, but right now we're going to swing on over. You have Clement, Floki, and Nazor in a fight right now. They're going to pick up Mona's also on the other side, and they have them pinned against the outside. I would definitely assume that the French trio is going to be able to pick this one up. They've been extremely efficient in their fights, and the new kids on the block have had a tough time so far today, Sancho.
Yeah, man, they started off very hot. They were in the top 5, and now they're just slowly slipping down the leaderboard. It's just a matter of the adjustments that are coming out, and at the same time, the marathon that it is already, they've already competed scorpion their way and grab loot that's out in the distance. Of course, as always, shouts to Clay Staling with the Clay Classic to being a very offensive. But also we saw Noosh out there in the DreamHack was able to get some nice pressure, being able to break through fresh builds with the Harpoon. So it's going to be interesting to see how Thomas uses it. I think on that queue, I believe he may have dropped it, but still, it's something to keep an eye out for as we're going forward.
And Kezik's going down there to Joel in the side. So our number 1 leaders going into match number 6 have been upset. There will be no more points taken from him. Just the miraculous double elims that came out from Kezik's and his push there, putting him up to 97 points. But it opens the door for everyone else to kind of close that gap. Again, don't forget 25 points for that victory royale, as the format just reminded you. Each elimination coming through as a point. So if you're able to push forward, again, in trios, generally you'll see at minimum you'll have 5 or 6 eliminations coming out from that top team. Seeing 30-point swings come through is not unreasonable, making anybody who is in kind of that top 10 right now right within striking distance of that number 1 spot as we get a wider look at the lobby.
And his trio able to bully out Mongrel, Mitro, and Tayson. But this fight is now bowling out between the two. We're seeing shots going in between 2 different neighbors. It's 2 metal bases as Paco is getting beamed and Jachu does go down as Raxel came and Artor are getting some nice opportunities here. Again, the top 15 get advanced, and this is one of those squads that are just in the top 20. So this is still important. Even though you're not going to play for the number 1 spot, there's still so many big-time matches that are happening all over the match and all happening on the leaderboard right now.
Yeah, and this action is explosive, as you see there. The gas can into the double cars will go over there, but now hopping on board here, iDrop, Sturzix, Vettel, the team who is in second place coming in this match, picking up an elimination there, doing a good job to try and occupy as much spot as you can. You can see right now.
First opening round 3 here of week 1. They could do it. I mean, they've been so consistent, Sundown. You've been saying they've been sneaking up the leaderboard ever so quietly, and sometimes it's the silent ones that you have to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen Amplify and Matzo for a long time. They've been playing together for a while. I think the addition of ADN really makes sense, and the fact that they've stuck to this same game plan and been able to execute it. However, with that being said, Amplify getting picked off on that rotation there and putting them into this 2v3 situation in most fights, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but we are also getting into that placement threshold territory. You can see 17 trios remaining, so next one's going through will start resulting in points. 42 players remaining. Slicks picking up Roscoe, Anas going down there, Lariz getting the confirmation as well. 40 players remaining, but still the trio's not quite ticking over. Last game's winner losing another player as Anas will go down. The pressure continuing to remain on Thomas HC's shoulders as now we get a wide here in ADN trying to work up the backside of the zone, looking to sneak in and find whatever pumps they can on this layer, and a brilliant pick up there onto Airwalks, but it wasn't his knock, so no points and no siphon coming through, just the excess materials. It's going to be forced to burn his chug splashes, hit a crash pad, and doing a really good job of utilizing the tools he's given. The question is, can he land the shot on any of these players coming down in a brilliant one there? That one will be his siphon. It's all going to be on ADN's shoulder as Matzo goes down, and he catches a ton of AR bullets as soon as he opens up that edit.
It's so rare to see mobility recycle as down goes ADN. That ends the run for our 3rd place at the moment. Again, a cumulative leaderboard going into day 2. So as the Storm pushes back inside, as Clement now and Floki are really heating up at the right moment with some nice edit down hits, some strong hits with that pump shotgun. The range on the pump shotgun is very deceiving. Sometimes you gotta throw your shot as Thomas HT finally goes down, so that trio is out as Vato is now getting a big hit on Floki. So Vato is now chasing Clement and Neko through this build as they're working on the ground low. Let's take an overview look here. We're seeing who's at height. We're seeing Vato still on the backside, mid-ground, and we're looking to a new team that hasn't been in in-game very much. It's the RCN2 trio up at height, and it's going to favor them, Sundown, because the elevation is going up.
The elevation is going up, but back on board here, they were second place. They're going to be pushing forward that top spot now. It's iDrop and Sturzix doing a good job, again, playing hip to hip with each other. Vettel has been down for a while, so these two trying to do whatever they can to salvage this point. This is game number 6, the last one for today, but the halfway point. Don't forget 6 more games tomorrow. We'll have an hour break after this, and then NA East Grand Final action will kick off. But you can see Miatfo up on the high ground getting a elim confirmed, but then getting knocked. High ground just got knocked down. Both of those players being knocked down signifies that somebody went up either with a shockwave or shot them down, and the distance dropping them will cause them to be self-eliminated. That means high ground is open. Kami was the one who forced that drop going through and will get the elimination credit. But iDrop being too far forward, not connecting to Sturzix, no help coming through, and that's the Become Legends trio capitalizing on that. But Nacor will immediately turn around. It's all on Sturzix to just stay in the match, avoid being eliminated, get as many points possible. There are so many little rats and crevices, so many solos and duos, no complete trios left as everyone is fighting for their final spot and final opportunity in match number 6. Sturzix in first place currently in your top right. Nacor looking to charge up into the top 10 on your bottom right, and everyone else on the wide on the left as Sturzix picks up a huge elimination, pushing him up to 3, gets a first pump shot, can't find the second. A brilliant job while replacing. He says nope, going forward out into the zone, replaces the layer, turns around, misses a key shot, but he finds the 180, pushes him into the top 4 as well. Sturzix showing why his team should be in first place right now.
Sturzix is getting it on at the right moment, heating up for his squad with 112 points. On the bottom right is Nacor. He got a beam on height. So Nacor right now is sitting at height, and you're seeing all the chaos down below as Rifla goes down from Acor. Ator is up, but it is the story of Sturzix, who is all by himself. His squad went down so early. Can he clutch it up in a top 3 situation? Already happy with the points, but the Victor Royale will be that cherry on top. Nacor has everything going his way with a dominant position right now, but Sturzix is not done. He's stirring the pot. It gets a big time. It's a 1v2, and no, it is Nacor, and Sundown applauds the performance seen out here as we close out day 1 here.
Indeed, you can see them in that first place slot now. They've had some really, really consistent games. 119 points. That puts them 21 points ahead of Lucky Clement and Nacor. And
you know, off the day performances where the first 3 days or the first 3 games are very nice. I want to see if tomorrow they can make the next 3 even nicer afterwards, right? 6 more games to go.
Indeed, and we can see in 10th all the way down to 15th, we see Mongrel, Mitro, and Tayson again. I've mentioned them a few times. Benji, Savage, and Lecce. We talked in the early game about all of the times that people are landing in these mythic POIs. Doom's Domain and Stark.